On the last episode of Market, we immersed ourselves in the world of social media and discovered a whirlpool of possibilities and a raging cast of new ideas of the marketing stage. We began to see how the world of marketing has been changing, thanks to the birth of more and more networks that enable engagement across a wide range of platforms.
It's the kind of medium that can change the world.
The brands are talking to people directly. I think it's a very new idea. They expect immediate feedback. They expect, immediate rewards.
Everybody's on call 24/7. There are no casual conversations, and anything you say or do is immediately viral and global. And marketers that understand the power that the consumer has and encourage that communication and their involvement, and then as a result of that, make their business a better business and their brands a better brands, those are the ones that are going to win.
As consumers and brands explore the digital world, social media evolves, and what started with a few blogs and forums has now become a multi-platform and an almost overwhelming set of choices. Facebook fan pages, Twitter to respond to customer service requests, and an uprising video market.
Retweet this or hashtag this and you will get entered into a contest. Very simple. Brands are starting to realize that the more they leverage existing consumer behavior in the digital space, there's a lot of value in that.
They want brands to be out there that are approachable, that are brands they can engage with, and in brands they can have an active participation in. It's about understanding that consumers now not only have a voice, they want two-way dialogue. So how do we create that communications?
On this episode of Market, we explore the best choices for a company to make use of social media and what the different channels are for. Influencers, loyalty and marketing campaigns. How to respond to the consumer. What happens to the notion of privacy in a world of constant accountability? And what will be the future of social media marketing? To push or to pull? That is the question. With so much user-generated content, brands can no longer expect to put out a message that tells consumers what to do. Brands have to have a back-and-forth conversation.
Our digital strategy, especially as it relates to social, is first figuring out the role of the brand in each one of those different channels. So I think understanding the strength of those different mediums is what successful brands are actually to really use to their strength. Understanding that Twitter is a place where people have conversations, and how do you kind of, as a brand, become a part of that conversation.
Twitter and Facebook have been on the top of the usage curve and have proven useful to engage and foster participation.
Twitter is a wonderful phenomenon. A smart guy grabbed out the text box from Facebook. How simple that was, but an amazing thing. Great name as well, tweeting. Who would have thought a few years ago that I'm saying I'm just sending a tweet? Twitter is an opportunity for people to participate in their lives, to communicate. So far, so good. Bravo, Twitter.
Twitter is different for everybody. For some, Twitter is a way for them just to skim through what's happening in the world in real time. I think the best part about Twitter is that nobody knew what it would be when it first started, and the community has helped to designate what it's turned into.
Twitter's about listening. Give value to the people that are looking for information. The way to stand out is to provide something, not to take, give.
According to marketing expert Brian Clark of copyblogger.com, the three things you need to succeed online are design optimization, content optimization, and conversion optimization. This means that you need to have a user-friendly platform, that your content needs to be relevant and of real interest to your consumer, and that it needs to be easy for people to take action.
At the end of the day, people are buying relationships. And the generation that I grew up, The brands that I purchased were the brands that my parents purchased, and I almost inherited those through a natural adoption process. My mother bought Ivory soap. You know, my mother bought Oreo cookies, so when I wanted a cookie, I bought Oreos. I never ventured far away. Well, now you have so many communications and so many brands competing. The brands need to stay pure to their platform. They need to create a two-way dialogue, and they need to keep that sense of connectivity.
So if you have 10 million fans on Facebook, and it's not a very active community, and 60% of those fans just liked you because they wanted to get a free coupon, and they aren't really a part of the audience that you're trying to target, there's value there, but I'm not sure how much value in the long term it's doing as a brand. But if you're able to actually have a larger audience of people that you're able to consistently engage with, that's a huge value to a brand. So if you have brand X and they have 5 million people that they're able to talk to on a daily or weekly basis, when I'm in the store and I can buy product X or product Y, I'm gonna reach and grab that product X because it's top of mind.
People have a very low tolerance now for being messaged to. It's a human approach. So if you show up and use a press release kind of language, people are not going to take you seriously. So marketers have to have stamina. They need to stay in the game, be in constant connection with these consumers whenever, and however they want.
Up next, succeed or die trying. What brands are doing well and why others have suffered the consequences of not paying enough attention. Social media has allowed permeating content and ideas in a straightforward fashion, but it can be quite difficult to reach out to everyone and get the right type of attention.
What social media has done is it's now demanding that companies create good products and stand by them with good customer service. This wasn't always the case. The companies are now responding, and they are not only engaging their consumers and users on social platforms, but they're actually trying to preempt it by making better products.
You hope to capture the interest of influencers in order to propagate the content. It is of crucial importance to identify the individuals who have the respect and the authority among peers, and the propensity to make recommendations and interact within their networks.
If you can identify who they are, and maybe you can change their behavior or the way they think about your products, maybe they will become advocates for your business and your products and services.
Influencers might be the ones to make or break your strategy in social media marketing. They can validate statements made on different platforms and give a thumbs up to an idea, or be a hub of information regarding experiences with the company's products or services. But they can also shape the views of others negatively, or take a small negative point and blow it out of proportion.
Very big brands like Coca-Cola, Toyota, Ford have been going out there and identifying who these people are. Ford did a very interesting campaign where they took 100 20-something people and gave them focus cards. And they said, no strings attached. All we ask is that you make videos about what the driving experience is like. Well, Ford was very successful at finding these advocates, not always necessarily positive, but because it was real, it was authentic, both giving the pros and the cons, it had so much more legitimacy than it was just Ford talking about their own products.
So how do you get bloggers, fans, and random internet folks to make your campaign go viral? Name check them in a personalized monologue delivered by a shirtless man? Kidding? Not. What sounds like an insane idea was a perfect marketing strategy for Old Spice, and turned out to be one of the most popular viral campaigns up until today.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady.
In 2010, Old Spice launched a video called The Man Your Man Could Smell Like. hoping to take advantage of the digital environment to revamp a brand that was getting old and losing attraction. The video received over 32 million viewers, and the number is still growing. After that success, the brand created a sequel and also worked on generating personalized videos for fans.
It's the human reaction, that you have enough people that see something and have a visceral response with it, that they don't just see it, they then shoot it off and send it to their friends to see it. And it just starts to grow exponentially, and the viral aspect of it just ignites, and suddenly it's everywhere. But it takes one person to share it with one person, who shares it with 2 people, they share it with 4 people, they share it with 18, and it just ignites overnight. But I think there has to be a visceral response to the idea.
Old Spice truly understood that it wasn't about the brand making a viral video, but making a video that the consumers would make viral. They came up with a way of putting a message everywhere that wasn't only funny and engaging, it talked directly to you.
I'm on a horse.
The more you share something, I guess that product is top of mind. So the next time you go to the store, you bump into it, you're more likely to reach for it on the shelf.
We need to understand that while we're building brand equity, and the world is also changing very fast, the customer is king, and he or she is at the center of the universe. Then they decide how, when, and where they want to access communication, and when and how they want to be spoken to.
Most brands put out videos that are shocking or disturbing, and people are attracted to the bizarre because it takes them out of their everyday routine. But not all brands can be cool and ingenious in that way. So, instead of tricking people into sharing by creating something over the top just because it's funny, brands need to come up with things that people will like, and then create an immersive experience that people will want to be a part of.
We know it works. But now, even in this digital time, there are very few tools out there that actually research the value of it. We're still in that milieu of adventure and investigation, so we're trying to work that out.
We live in a digital space where everything is viral, and they're trying to wrap their ideas around the digital world. And in 4 or 5 years from now, we will never even be talking about the concept of viral or digital. It's because it's brand new today that it's the first thing that's on our mind. Our clients want to know, how do they use it to their best advantage?
The key thing that was holding people back from using these tools effectively wasn't their knowledge of these technologies or how to use them. It was their reluctance to give up control. People don't want to deal with this issue. They are in denial of the fact that they are not in control.
Not all brands are aware of the impact that can be created, and some are suffering the consequences of being so oblivious.
Bad reviews of a product can spread just as fast, or even faster than good reviews. So if you have, let's say, lousy customer service, that's going to get out.
Dave Carroll's song, United Breaks Guitars, is a true example of how social media has changed customer service forever, and why brands today must respond to what goes on with consumers. Canadian musician Dave Carroll traveled United Airlines, and when he arrived at his destination, he discovered his $3,500 guitar had suffered a broken neck. Carroll filled in a claim with the airline, but was informed he was ineligible for compensation. Carroll wrote a song and created a music video about his experience.
You broke my Taylor guitar. United, some big help you are, 'cause United breaks guitars.
The YouTube video song by the name of United Breaks Guitars was posted on July the 6th. It amassed 150,000 views within one day. By April 2011, it reached over 10 million hits.
People have emotionally attached themselves to it, have loved it, and have passed the word. and got other people excited about it as well. I think that's a phenomenal success in marketing for very few dollars.
People take that brand and make it their own. They're the ones who express their brand in their own words. Now, if you're a marketer, you have to give up that whole idea that you can craft and carefully control what that brand means.
Word of mouth is everything. In the 1920s and 30s, it mattered, and now it matters. Obviously, it's changed because the biggest socialite 20 years ago could have told 10 people about a nice restaurant. Now the weirdest guy who has a Twitter account who lives in his mom's basement can tweet and 6,000 people can know. Word of mouth travels in a way we've never seen before, and that matters.
Before in TV or broadcast or certainly print, you know, you've got one message and it's just about driving home that one message. Now that message is, you know, sort of not in your control. It's tough.
Media reported the story of the song's instant success, and United's managing director of customer solutions telephoned Carroll to apologize for the foul-up and to ask if the carrier could use the video internally for training. United mentioned it hoped to learn from the incident and to change its customer service policy as a result of the incident.
75% of major companies find the world becoming far too complex, far more fragmented, and because of the proliferation of media and all these new channels.
A truly amazing fact about customer service is that people who buy a product and encounter a problem that's well resolved by the brand are twice as likely to buy again than people that buy something and never have a problem with it.
Best Buy is doing a fantastic job of this. They have started a Twitter page called 12 Force, where people can go and ask questions, and any one of Best Buy's employees, any of them, could go and sign up for an account and answer those questions. So right now, 2,500 employees at Best Buy are answering questions every single day on behalf of Best Buy and talking with customers.
Up next, find out what are the main issues of social media marketing, why some people are starting to worry about privacy, how to handle scaling without losing the conversation with your consumers, and what is the future of social media marketing. It is now undeniable that social media marketing is driving in the fast lane. But as any trend of such rapid growth, it brings along questions, issues, and concerns. For all the benefits and commercial advantages of social media usage for brands, there is also a decided downside that cannot be ignored. Teenagers, and even adults, are spending a large proportion of their days engaged in the virtual reality created by social media, and in turn, spend less time relating with other individuals. Social media marketing allows marketers to become lazy and turn to standardized solutions into the online work. And those don't work because they can't get heard over the crowd.
The greatest challenges in social media right now is that there's thousands of people running around saying they're social media experts and gurus and they're full of shit. And so there's a bunch of clowns that are gonna make a bubble because everybody sucks. They read magazines and they think they know something. There's a bunch of posers and they're gonna get hired, they're gonna get money, the people are gonna get no results, and the company's gonna not think that social media works because they hired somebody sucky.
The biggest flaw in online marketing today is that there aren't any rules. And because there aren't any rules, people are sometimes making mistakes to very large public audiences all at once. But the best thing about online marketing is that it's the wild, wild west, and we can take risks and we can try out new programs because I don't know about you, but I was getting really tired of seeing print magazine ads.
Another question that rises with social media is the question of privacy.
And the problem with privacy online is that there isn't any. I mean, there's always going to be somebody who knows what you do online, whether you like it or not. They can track it. If you get on Google and you search on Google, they know every single search that you ever commit. Anytime. So you get a little drunk, went to a party, thought, I always wanted to find out more about this kind of thing. Google knows. Now, I doubt that Google will tell anybody because it's not in their best interest to. And in fact, they want to know what you're searching for so they can just hit you with more and more useless banner ads or keyword ads and make money on you. But there is a lack of privacy. I think the mistake people make is they confuse privacy with anonymity. When you're online, it really is a public space. I don't think you should have an expectation of anonymity online.
An increasing alarm is that social media marketing is really useful for emerging brands to start building a community and engage with audiences, and it is undeniably cost-efficient for startups and freelancers to start building a name. But once you start to grow, how do you keep the conversation going and treat your consumer in a manner that's true to the nature of that relationship?
We can only engage to our best ability. We have to work on effort and intent. Brands and startups, logos, can scale forever. How do you scale? You stop spending money on dumb shit like media that doesn't work anymore, and you hire people to humanize your brand and engage with customers. When did the end consumer not become the whole game? The person that puts the money in your pocket? When do they not become the #1 priority? And I think it's right now super important for people to realize that they have to scale it with human beings.
If you have a fan base of 10 people and you're talking one-to-one to them, that's fine, they're very engaged. So now when you have 5 million people, how do you create content and messaging that is targeting so all those people still feel like they're speaking directly to them? There's little things that we do. When a consumer comments on a post that a brand makes or asks a question, being able to respond to that in real time as a brand is so huge. And it's such a small thing that a lot of brands don't do. Everyone else sees that and they say, oh, they're real. If this is like a real conversation. Even though they may not be part of the conversation, they still get that feeling.
Can you really have a one-to-one conversation with all your clients? Or should you engage a dialogue with pre-formatted responses and risk sounding hollow and unreal?
I think it's giving the impression of that one-to-one relationship without actually having that one-to-one relationship. I don't think it's possible to reach out to every single one of them. I think you just do the best you can and you see where the chips fall. But maybe the expectation will then change. Maybe a user won't expect that one-to-one relationship. They'll just expect a nice, warm, fuzzy face to the company.
The key to social media is having a more personal approach to things, connecting with people as human beings. And that gets difficult if you're a very large company with millions of customers. Let's take Coca-Cola, for example. I think they're up to like 20 million followers on Facebook. I mean, how do you have a one-on-one conversation with people on there? You don't. So they will put up a post saying, Coke has the best fans in the world. And 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people will write back, yes, we love you too. So that's the level of conversation that's there. But when was the last time Coke said, thank you for your business? Or we love you, fans, thank you so much. And we love our fans so much that we want to give you this special gift. It's at scale, but it is still very human. It's still very personal. You can feel that there's a person behind the brand and that they're trying to understand and appreciate you as a person. And so when I say personal, it's not necessarily one-to-one. It is personal in that it makes me feel like a person.
As a brand, if you could insert yourself in that conversation in a meaningful way, you start to, I think, get back to that one-to-one consumer brand conversation.
New platforms continue to emerge. New ideas of how to make use of social media are being developed every day. Brands try out new ways of creating conversation and to make consumers be part of the story. So, what awaits for us in the future?
The future of social sharing is an amazing world. Everybody is a good communist as long as they can make profit. Social sharing, to me, levels the playing field.
I think utility is something that is going to change advertising in a lot of ways. Advertising before was just an ad. It was just a way to market a product or service. And I think with digital now, brands have the ability to actually provide utility and value to consumers.
I'm very excited about social media. I think we're, in fact, just on the brink of a geolocation revolution.
Is everything going to be mobile? Is 3D going to blow out everything else? Or can we expect a completely different panorama in a couple of years?
I think more and more mobile is going to be huge, tablets are going to be huge, ways to reach people when they feel like they're just doing stuff, where it feels more integrated into their lives.
There's going to be more ways for consumers to digest and consume content and advertisements from brands. We're going to have to fight even harder to get their attention. Because everything is digital now, and there are so many different ways for consumers to connect to everything around them, that's what is going to continue to change the way we create advertising.
There's no silver bullet. You know who wins? People that work the hardest and who execute the best. If you really like what you're doing, you'll work to 3 o'clock in the morning. And if you don't, you work 9 to 5. The reason I was a terrible student is because I didn't like it. The reason I've been so successful my whole life is because everything I ever did I loved. I outworked everybody. And so, content is king. Marketing is the queen. Context is God. You need it all. You can't just be pretty. You can't just be smart. You can't just be good. You gotta be everything. The whole world's in play. The best people win. After I started Wine Library TV, 4,000 people tried to do a wine show on the internet. But they couldn't because they didn't know as much, they didn't care as much, they didn't execute as much. If you love it, you're gonna put in the hard work. It's gonna take more than 9 to 5. Nobody by accident won.
As it seems, there is no way of knowing exactly how it's going to happen. But we can expect new and exciting ideas to continue seeding their way through the online world. That's it for this episode of Market. But join us next time as we explore new marketing and media concepts that are revving up with success for some or all the industries. Canadian musician Dave Carroll travelled United Airlines, and when he arrived at his destination, he discovered his $3,500 guitar had suffered a broken neck. Carroll filled in a claim with the airline, but was informed he was ineligible for compensation. Carroll wrote a song and created a music video about his experience.
United breaks guitars.
The YouTube video song by the name of United Breaks Guitars was posted on July the 6th. It amassed 150,000 views within one day. By April 2011, it reached over 10 million hits.
People have emotionally attached themselves to it, have loved it, and have passed the word and got other people excited about it as well. I think that's a phenomenal success in marketing for very few dollars.
People take that brand and make it their own. They're the ones who express their brand in their own words. Now, if you're a marketer, you have to give up that whole idea that you can craft and carefully control what that brand means.
Word of mouth is everything. In the 1920s and 30s, it mattered, and now it matters. Obviously, it's changed because the biggest socialite 20 years ago could have told 10 people about a nice restaurant. Now the weirdest guy who has a Twitter account who lives in his mom's basement can tweet and 6,000 people can know. Word of mouth travels in a way we've never seen before, and that matters.
Before on TV or broadcast or certainly print, you know, you've got one message and it's just about driving home that one message. Now that message is, you know, sort of not in your control. It's tough.
Media reported the story of the song's instant success, and United's managing director of customer solutions telephoned Carroll to apologize for the foul-up and to ask if the carrier could use the video internally for training. United mentioned it hoped to learn from the incident and to change its customer service policy as a result of the incident.
75% of major companies find the world becoming far too complex, far more fragmented, and because of the proliferation of media and all these new channels.
A truly amazing fact about customer service is that people who buy a product and encounter a problem that's well resolved by the brand are twice as likely to buy again than people that buy something and never have a problem with it.
Best Buy is doing a fantastic job of this. They have started a Twitter page called 12 Force where people can go and ask questions, and any one of Best Buy's employees, any of them, could go and sign up for an account and answer those questions. So right now, 2,500 employees at Best Buy are answering questions every single day on behalf of Best Buy and talking with customers.
Up next, find out what are the main issues of social media marketing, why some people are starting to worry about privacy, how to handle scaling without losing the conversation with your consumers, and what is the future of social media marketing. It is now undeniable that social media marketing is driving in the fast lane. But as any trend of such rapid growth, it brings along questions, issues, and concerns. For all the benefits and commercial advantages of social media usage for brands, there is also a decided downside that cannot be ignored. Teenagers, and even adults, are spending a large proportion of their days engaged in